Hi, Joana Granero from the London Spanish Film Festival for the Instituto Cervantes in London. Today I'm going to talk to you about Fernando Fernán Gómez, just for a couple of minutes, even though his career would deserve so much longer. Not only because it spans well over 60 years, from the early 1940s to 2006, but because of the wealth and variety of his contribution to the history of Spanish cinema, as an actor, as a director, and also as a writer. We could say he breathed the love for acting and culture from the cradle. He was the illegitimate son of Carola Fernán Gómez, an actress working with Maria Guerrero's theatre company. The father, whose identity was hidden for many years, was the son of the fearful and powerful theatre actress and impresario Maria Guerrero herself, and he was an actor as well. The film I'd like to recommend to you is The Strange Voyage, which he directed in 1964, taking as a starting point an idea of Luis García Berlanga, another master of Spanish cinema, from a real murder that took place in Murcia around that time. So, three brothers, all single and of a certain age, live in a big manor in a small town. Venancio, who is childish and not very bright, and who is played by the filmmaker Jesus Franco, who later became famous for his horror movies, Paquita, who is not very bright neither, and Ignacia, who is very clever, manipulative, and the terror of her brother and sister. She even scares cats. Venancio and Paquita suspect that their sister is welcoming a guest at night, and they start to spy on her. Then an accident happens, and you should watch it to see what happens next. Some reasons to do so. In a masterly way, Fernán Gómez intertwines comedy, drama, thriller, and crime, and it's a superb portrait of slow life in a small town in 1960s Spain, with the ignorant and prudish society, oppressive and stuck in the past on one hand, and the slow opening to the modernity of the rest of the world via music and magazines, the fascination with everything foreigner, and with the capital, Madrid, and with bikinis. At the same time, it's twisted, irreverent, black, weird, but still managed to go through Franco's censorship systems, surprisingly. Fernando Fernán Gómez was famous for being very outspoken and often saying what he thought, sometimes in an abrupt way. He saw himself as a shy person with bad character. Others, like Pedro Almodóvar, who admired him very much and worked with him in his film All About My Mother, said that his ferocity was a myth, and that he couldn't bear stupidity nor mediocrity, and that he didn't hide that fact. Fernando and David and Jonas Trueba have been guests of the London Spanish Film Festival, and they all knew him very well. And David and Fernando worked with him on some occasions. Well, visiting us, the subject of Fernando Fernán Gómez always came up, and they all talked about how wonderful was talking to him, his generosity, how he shared his knowledge, his experience with them, and what an enriching experience had been being close to him. They really appreciated what Fernán Gómez's conversation could bring up in a tertulia, perhaps with a whiskey in hand, so much that David Trueba directed Fernando's Chair, a film conversation with Fernán Gómez, which I strongly recommend. And this brings me to tell you the subject of our next video, the Clan Trueba.